Hey friends, this is Wishka the Ferret. Welcome to the Ferret Den, where we're keeping things warm, we're keeping things cozy, and today you get to see my face. Usually I'm at the table doing cards, so I feel like this is the vibe today. This is truly keeping it warm and keeping it cozy for me, and that's what we got. I got my little candle going, I got my Gatorade, and I'm ready to get grig. Okay, if I'm going to stumble over my words throughout this whole reading, I'm going to be very sad. Okay, but we're going to get it started here. We're going to do this all in one take. Woo! As usual. So what we got for you, Cancer? Let's see. We have the full moon in Virgo this week. So this reading is particularly for March 6th to the 12th. We have a full moon in Virgo coming up March 7th, I believe. It's on a Tuesday for me. So full moon in Virgo, you can look up the astrological transits from other YouTubers who are like official astrologers. But essentially, we're getting a lot of messages so far about like the body and taking care of the mind and like being focused on, Virgo is an energy of, okay, so I'm hearing, I just heard from Spirit, take it slow. So, I mean, this is a time of taking things like kind of coming back to the body and kind of assessing our needs and reassessing where we're trying to go. And then like, it's like a taking care of ourselves type of time. And we're really looking at our give and take for this cycle. So first I'm going to pull some tarot to get some general energies, and as always, drop into your heart space and let the dust physically, emotionally, and spiritually settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you and which messages are for others. And with that being said, Cancer, let's get right on into it. So thank you, Archangel Michael, for casting your bubble of protection around us and keeping all the icky energy out. Thank you for allowing me to connect directly to Source, to speak the truth and nothing but the truth with the highest love in the most empowering and gentle way. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Spirit team. And thank you, those associated with the energies of Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. That could help us with this reading and help us articulate the message and find the right audience, find the people who this message is meant for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just heard someone say, your gift is showing. I don't know. I don't know what gift they're pertaining to. So and you know, this is kind of echoing from earlier, take it slow. And we have the mouse spirit here, tend to the small things. So Cancer, this is a time to come back to the self. Maybe there have been some things that you've been overlooking in terms of like your health or your body. And you're not gonna like what I'm gonna say. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just that you're never gonna figure out what the universe has in store for you. And the message here goes like this. You have Bobcat Spirit, life is a mystery. And you're in tune with your own intuition, but you also have the ability to sense the intuition of others. I think that is a very Cancer-like trait, whether you are Sun, Moon, or Rising. If you have Cancer in your top three, they are very deep-feeling energies. They are aware. They do tend to be more emotionally aware than others, or they tend to, they're really big, deep feelers. So, and even if you're not, that's fine, but you have this deep knowing about yourself, but you also have this deep knowing about other people. And sometimes you wonder why things are aligned in the way that they are in the world and why certain things are being lined up, like if they don't seem to fit. Like life's not the perfect puzzle and you understand that, but there's some type of energy here about being okay. So that's interesting. So specifically they drew my attention to the tarot card. So you have the Ace of Pentacles here, which is a new opportunity. And the 10 of Swords, which is the ending of something. So almost like something is being presented, but then something is being taken away because it's not right for you. But like, how could something that could feel right for you end up not being right for you? And I think that's one of the things that you wonder, and that's one of the things that you want to study, because you have the Three of Pentacles here, and I think you're trying to find that answer. I think this is something that, like, you're taking things slow, but it's almost like you're taking a step back from whatever it is that you're working on so that you can contemplate these matters. I feel like this is a time of contemplation, reflection. This is a time of returning to the self and focusing on your needs, because like I said earlier, like Virgo is a time of give and take that is shown through the Six of Pentacles here. So watching the kind of energy that you're giving and receiving, and you're paying attention to the kinds of things that really fill up your cup with the Ten of Cups here. So you have the Ten of Cups and you have the Six of Pentacles here, and those together feel like the joint effort of the Spirit's telling me to describe the situation. So let's say that you've always tended, like, let's say you've always, I'm just throwing this out there because it was something for me, but let's say you've always played video games. I always played video games. I loved video games. But then one day you realize that it doesn't fill your cup like it used to, or like maybe you're like there's certain games that you used to love, you don't really find joy in anymore. Like you play them because it's a habit, or you go back to them because that is like your planned go-to for like, here's what's going to make me feel better. But then you're kind of walking away like, why isn't that filling up my cup anymore? So it's almost like you're turning extra attention to these types of things. Not necessarily in terms of the world of tech, because some of us do have specific, like, some of us have our video games, we have our TV shows, like, for some of us, tech can be relied on for like it can feel good, like when used properly. I mean, it can be like a good way to relax and de-stress and to calm our minds and our bodies. Me specifically, though, it doesn't work for me, and I know for a lot of people it doesn't work, but for some it does. This feels like turning your attention specifically. It's almost like you're circling back around. Maybe there were things that you used to do as a child that you stopped doing, and now you're just kind of looking back at that and going, maybe that's what I need to bring back some fun into my life. So maybe looking back, I'm hearing reflect back. Okay, so Spirit just said reflect back on your teens. Maybe there was something that you used to do when you were a teenager and you kind of let it go because it's like too juvenile or whatever, and you're like, no, I don't want to, like, I'm too old for that. I'm too, old. I put that in quotes. If you're not looking, I'm putting it in quotes. Old. Like, you can never be too old for anything. Like, I think you should always have fun. And I've definitely had my things of when I was a teen that I let go of, but like when I indulged it and I played in it a lot, I started getting that joy back, and I started getting really excited and passionate, and I started like picking up like some teen novels and stuff, and I was reading them, and I was like, wow, it was like a brain break for me, and I really enjoyed it. But Spirit's kind of, those might not be the things for you, because Spirit's kind of coming in reminding me like, this is not your message, so I don't need to use as many examples, so I apologize in advance. But it feels like Spirit's really calling you to think about, so I'm hearing drumming for some of you, like some of you might be drummers, but there's something here about music, and some of you art. There's like, paper mache, because they told me like crafting and paper mache at the same time, so that could be like for some of you, that could be like an old thing that you used to do. Something that you used to do as a teenager that you don't do now, that Spirit is calling you to be guided back to, like, or calling you to, they're like guiding you back to it, or they're telling you to reflect on those areas in life where you can, where you can fill up your cup, because that's kind of where the attention should be, because like your attention has kind of been on like the outer world, and maybe you've been in like the pursuit of happiness for a while. In terms of like, when I look at the Mouse Spirit and I want to give the message of the Mouse Spirit in terms of like, because it says tend to the small things, it usually means that we've been doing something for long enough to overlook the smaller things that actually matter. So in terms of like I don't know, I can't really find an example. Like brushing your teeth, I don't know why I'm saying that. Like, it's not for me, but I know some people, like, brushing your teeth may seem like an incredibly small thing, but over the long term, if you ignore it long enough, you start to, like, feel and notice the difference. For me, I feel it immediately because it's a habit, but I don't know why toothbrushing is coming to mind, for example. Or it's like, even if it's like something like, okay, very specific things about taking care of the body. So maybe some of you, like, your small things that you're not really taking seriously are things in your body. I just heard from another tarot reader before, and I feel like this is a resounding message, but it's just like, full moon in Virgo, like, that is a time to tend to the body. It's a time to tend to, like, the physical and emotional needs, the mental needs of the body. It's all a unit. Mind, body, and soul are all a unit. So I think it's pretty important to focus on our body, our vessel, because it's what we came here with. It lives with us and it dies with us. So, I mean, our souls never die, but our our bodies have, like, our bodies are hosting our soul, so it deserves at least a little bit, like a little bit of respect, and like, you know, there should be something there. So paying attention to that and taking care of it, and not just going, oh, I know I should, but actively putting in the work to make sure that you are tending to those smaller things. I really just feel like there are reflections here that you can do. I'm hearing Spirit just said, okay, so I'm trying to start on one thing on one message, but they're coming through with something else. They said you have a tendency to douse yourself in fire. So that could be in terms of, like, they mean that it feels like metaphor. I mean, I hope it's not physically, but they mean it metaphorically, and that kind of putting your body through the wrecker, if that makes sense. Like, really pushing and working. I don't know if it's like a workaholic type of vibe, or if it's like you're pushing things off and then just like rushing at the last minute. There's something here about putting the body under some type of duress instead of giving it what it truly needs. And it might not seem like a big deal, but in the end it is a big deal. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example, and it's not really coming to me, but I'm trying to think of a specific body example where, like, my go-to is tea. My go-to is tea. Sometimes I just heard for some people cram school. So, in terms of, like, instead of taking a nap, you just go to coffee and you stay up, and your brain's not really being as productive as it could be. And there's something here about, I don't know, there's just something here about, like, I don't know, I'm hearing there's, like, something about addressing fears here. Let me roll the Astro Dice and see, because they're, like, I feel like Spirit's kind of waiting around for something. And I'm like, I don't know, you tell me. So, yeah, I do feel like we're very driven, Cancer, because this is like affecting your 10th house, which is your career, your reputation. This is like your lifelong work. It doesn't have to be like the career that you're in, but it's whatever your passion project is, like the thing, like your long-term goal that you see, like your reputation, glory, success, blah, 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 all that stuff. And when we have Saturn here, you have a very disciplined nature, and I feel like I don't know, just this kind of energy. Saturn is disciplined, and maybe you've been disciplined and you've been sticking to a schedule. I just feel like you've been working hard and you've been burning out, because Aries is also here as well. And Aries, like, you're very passionate. Maybe you started something new. Maybe the Ace of Pentacles was starting something new. It was like an opportunity to start something, and then the 10 of Pentacles was the burnout. Maybe. Like, that could be a reflection of that, because I talked earlier about the Ace of Pentacles being some kind of opportunity that was presented, and then all of a sudden it was just, boom, like, it was just taken away, or it was just ended, like, very quickly. But I feel like this is just a short burst of passion, or like a short burst of energy into something that just fell through. And sometimes we'll never understand why we follow the signs and the synchronicities, and we feel guided to do something, and then it ends up not working out. And then you're like, well, what did I do? And I feel like there's a tendency here to think, like, do I just not know enough about the world and how it works, and it's the interconnectivity of everything? Like, why was I wrong in following the signs? And you're not wrong. We're just following the things that we're manifesting and creating. So we don't have to follow I heard for some of you, you're at the tail end of a situation. Okay, for some of you, okay, never mind. For some of you, some things are coming to an end with somebody or someone or something. But it, like, if it was with another person, it just kind of fizzled out, or it was very quick. And the signs were there, but it just didn't work. And maybe that was because you needed to learn something from it. And again, there are so many different things. Whatever this gain and this loss was, it was divinely guided, and you were meant to lose it. And you were meant to learn from it, or it was meant to push you into studying more and learning more about, like, how manifestation works, how your guides are speaking to you, the kinds of things that they want, like, the kinds of things that your soul is being called to do. So reflecting on that and thinking about that, because, like, turning your attention, like, making sure you're filling up your cup through these reflections. Oh, some of you might actually be tarot readers. They said get started on, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm going to take that back. some of you might have a tarot channel because there's somebody chatting about that in the background, but they just said, so get started on reading. So maybe you have a book list already in mind, and Spirit kind of wants you to pay attention to those books. Like, now is your rest time. Now is a time to accumulate that knowledge so that you can kind of embed it in the frequency that you have right now so that you can further utilize it here. So that being said, let me pull one more card. What's going to make your life easier at this time, Cancer, during this cycle this week? What's going to make your life easier? I really do feel like we're trying to understand. We're taking on like Sagittarius energy, like the philosopher's energy, and trying to like understand life. So I mean, like you're about to go on a learning spree, Cancer. Let's claim your independence, cat spirit. So what's going to make your life easier now is understanding like you don't have to follow all of the signs and all of the synchronicities. You could just do whatever you want. They say that like, you know, signs and synchronicities are only there to assure us that our angels and guides are there. Sometimes people use it to kind of dictate their lives and kind of like, and sometimes they are being guided in certain directions, that like their soul is being called to go in different directions. And it's hard to read signs and synchronicities. It's a very personal experience for everybody. And it doesn't necessarily have to deal with like the things you manifest, though it could. It could also be a reminder that your angels are like, hey, we're here. Or it could be, I heard for some of you, stop overthinking things. Like it's meant to calm you down because your thoughts are kind of racing because you're like, oh, well, what if this isn't supposed to happen? Or like, what if I'm supposed to be doing something else? Like, you know, doubting your path. I heard something about your beliefs. I feel like some of you have some beliefs, but I just heard that for some of you, your beliefs will change based on what you read and what you experience afterwards. So everything that we believe in life, I believe, like, yes, it's like programmed from childhood and blah, 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 and our environment and circumstantial, yada, yada, but we also have a choice to embrace certain things. We have things that our core soul is being called to, but a lot of times the way that we interpret the world and the way that we perceive the world, some of us are actually very malleable. So like when we study things and when we open our awareness to other perspectives, we kind of start to see it, and then we sometimes shift our mindset a little bit more, and then sometimes our beliefs shift too to fit our worldview and also the worldview of others, and it just makes life more intriguing and interesting, and I feel like that's something that's very compelling for you. So it's not meant to overwhelm you. I feel like they just said be cat-like in this energy of like choosing what you want. Don't be afraid to just kind of like, if you see something you don't like it, don't be afraid to like snub it. You don't have to like intake all of the energy that you read. You like, not everybody's voice is going to be for you, and that's okay. Like, that's fine. So that's something that Spirit wants you to keep in mind. And there's one more that did pop out. Snake Spirit, time to heal. Some of you do need to heal from whatever it is that you gained and lost. Some of you do need to heal. This is a time to do that. It wasn't really, that's just like an extra message that's coming through. It's kind of like snakes shed their own skin. So that's, I don't know, I feel like that's kind of what you're doing now. And in order to fully shed your own skin, taking this time to study and incorporate the lessons that you've learned, and also start reading and accumulating different like views on life so you can understand different perspectives, that could help you like educate yourself a little bit more on like the signs, the synchronicities, how you're viewing life, or essentially just like your path forward and figure out where you want to go. Because that's gonna like, giving back to yourself in this way and allowing yourself to heal will help you give back to others in your 10th house, in your success, your long-term vision, it's in terms of like your reputation, success, like that will grow based on this time period of healing. So this is very important. That being said, where's my dice? I'm going to roll the dice for you, Cancer, and we'll send you on your way. So we have 337 from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. 337. You are in a portal of manifestation. Y'all just talked about manifestation. Woo! Okay, all right, sorry. That was weird. You are in a portal of manifestation. Miracles are pouring from you at this time. Yo, that's so special and sweet. Aww. Okay, Cancer, let me read that one more time. You are in a portal of manifestation. Miracles are pouring from you at this time. So, yeah, some of you may actually be studying law of attraction and manifestation. So, thank you, Cancers, so much for tuning in. You know what? I forgot to mention my Patreon. So I don't have one yet. But I am doing a lot of the work. I am hoping to get it up in a month or so. If you want to support me as a creator, you can go ahead and like and subscribe. That way you can be up to date on what's happening with the Patreon, as well as keep up with my stuff. And if this resonated with you anyway and you feel called to, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know how it did. Maybe the kinds of stuff that you're reading. I love when I get a reading where guides are like, study, because I'm like, like I'm all about that energy, and I get very excited myself because I have a stack of books. You can't see it, but I got like a whole stack of books right here of stuff that it's from my local library. It's not gonna last forever. I do need to return it eventually, so that means I gotta get to reading. So that's not really what I'm doing now, but best of luck to you, Cancer, in your endeavors. Please leave your recommendations below. I will happily pick up books and sort through them because I love to learn. But anywho, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I'll see you next time.